Hello, my name is Flávia Rodrigues, and I am a communication specialist, and I also work as a dissemination manager in several national and international projects with different funding. Today, I want to share with you the correct use of the graphic elements and PowerPoint presentation of NET4Age-Friendly, and also the correct use of the funding logos. I would also like to leave you with some tips and tricks to use in the PowerPoint presentations that probably you are planning in your future. By the way, this is the cover that was designed for the NET4Age-friendly PowerPoint presentations. As you know, the visual identity of something is very important, and therefore the visual identity manual should always be consulted, because there you will find the guidelines for the correct use of the logos. Today, I'm going to show you the whole graphic elements manual and the correct uses of these elements. The visual identity manual works as a guide that should be consulted when in doubt about the use of graphic elements. Let's start with the logo. This is the main NET4Age-friendly logo, and this is the one that we should always use in most of the situations. We also have two alternatives with graphic extension that also can be used and were designed for a more horizontal solution, and the other one for when we need to use a more vertical space. The logo should, whenever possible, be used on a white background. However, we know that is not always possible. And so there are logos with color variations. They are both official, and one of them should be used in a white background and the other should be used on a dark background. To have consistent materials, we should use the same color palette as the logo. There are the colors of the logos, and you can get the colors through a tool that is in PowerPoint. You have the text box here, and we will select this little A here, and here we can choose a color picker, and you can choose like this pink, and after that you can see the colors in recent colors, and you have here the color that we choose that is from the same palette of the logo. I will try another one for you to understand. So I will get again the color picker, and then I put blue, and then I will find in the most recent colors this blue, and then I will choose the text and turn it blue. So on the next point, we have the types of letters that were used in the logo. Although we will not change it because it's already part of the logo that is already elaborated and should not never change. You get to know the type of the letters. So we have Open Sans semi-bold, Source Sans Pro Regular, and Myriad Pro Bold. After that, I will tell you something about the empty space. To ensure that there is a correct representation of the logo, it is very important to keep empty spaces between logos and other graphic elements or the margins. The safety margins delimit the area that should never be transposed by any elements in order to ensure that we have greater visibility of the logo. The logo must also have a minimum size to ensure legibility. Now, I will tell you about the importance of maintaining the proportions of the logo. The logo, like any image, each time it's necessary to decrease its size or increase it, the proportions must be maintained. By clicking the right button of your mouse, you can find options to format your image. So you should always choose keep height and width radio and proportional to the original image size, so that these two wrong situations do not happen. Another very important issue is the behavior of the logos on photographic backgrounds. I leave you with these two good examples here. As you can see, in the bad examples, there is no reading of the logo. They are on top of colored images, and we cannot read correctly the logo. In the good examples, we have one blue example and another one in white, and we must always apply the logos in more uniform color patches. When we use logos on top of photographs, we should always look for uniform color patches to use them. Now I finish the information about the NET4Age-Friendly logo, and we move on to costs, our funding logo. If you are not distracted during my presentation, you could see that on all our slides, besides the NET4Age-Friendly logo, the cost logo was used, as well as the European Commission's Horizon 2020 program. This is the official logo of the costs. Here, you can also find the variations of the logo of costs. And again, the same information, the importance of leaving empty space, the minimum size, and the official logo variations. In here, you can also find one correct use of the logo and some bad examples, like this one in an orange background where there is no legibility. Some logos that are shrunk, stowed with shading on top of an image with the background with the same color, among others. It is important to reinforce the presence of cost brand in different communication tools, such as brochures, flyers, posters, websites, videos, articles, books, and others. If they are funded by costs, they need the acknowledged cost as the funding source through the use of a signature block, taking into account these elements: the logo, the cost logo, and also the brand of the European Union. If you have any doubts about this, you have the whole information about graphic elements of cost in the cost website. You can search by cost visual identity. And now I will move on to PowerPoint presentations and some tips and tricks. Now I will show you the PowerPoint template that was already been prepared for NET4Age-Friendly, so you can use in your presentations. So this is the cover that I show you at the beginning, and you can change the text for the text that is convenient for you. In here, there's another option that where you can put your information as you wish. And then we prepared our other slides that you can also fill in with the information. In here, you can also choose the same way to choose the color, and then put the text in the color of the logo, as you can see. Another option. And now I must tell you that it's very important to be consistent. It is important that the presentation is consistent from the start to finish. If the recurring elements are in different positions on each slide, your presentation becomes disorganized. For that, you need to make sure that the recurring elements are always in the same position. What am I referring by the recurring elements? I'm talking about the logos and the headers. They must always be in the same position and the same size across all slides. You should choose a color palette and use different shades from the same palette. With this, your slides will have a sense of unity. Now I will talk about the type of letters, the fonts. First, I will tell you about some fonts that you should never use. Comic Sans should never be used in official documents. And Times New Roman, this one, as serifs, these little crosses, these little elements here. They are known as serifs and is therefore difficult for people who can see very well. This kind of letter is very difficult to read. These two are you can use it freely because Trebuchet and Calibri are very easy to read, but it's very important for you to choose a font and maintain the consistency. I will now tell you about the text hierarchy. I will give you a good example and a bad example. In the correct example, the title is highlighted, as you can see, and then the subtitle is a brighter color, but is less highlighted, but you can see that it's more important than the text. In here we have the text that is formatted and with equal importance through the text. In the bad example, you can see that the title is smaller than the rest and then the subtitle, and the text is not justified, and it looks like a bunch of nonsense letters. It's very difficult for you to understand the information that is in here. So let me give you another example of a poorly organized and unreadable text. As you can see, this in here, you cannot see what is more important. The letters are too small. The space is random. The spacing is random. It's not very easy for you to get the important information. After that, I will give you, I think these are good examples with highlighted titles, and the organization of the text is always in the same way and with bullet points that I think is very easy to read and to take the information that you need. Now I will talk you about contrasts. Up here we have the NET4Age-Friendly palette that I choose in the beginning. And in here we have, if you want to take these colors, is the same way that I told you before. So go to the A, choose the color selector, and then choose from one of these colors that you want to use. This blue belongs to the NET4Age-Friendly palette also. In the bad example, we have yellow letters that do not belong to the NET4Age-Friendly color palette. And furthermore, you should not use very pale colors like yellow on a white background. Or these very thin gray letters. Besides, this hurts the eyes, and they are very poorly legible for anyone, but even worse for people with low vision or older persons. In the next slide, we have another example of contrast, but this time with a black background. On the black background, you should use colors that allow a correct reading. I got the orange and the blue, again from the NET4Age-Friendly logo, which are readable on the black background. Once again, in the bad examples, there are colors that do not stand out, that get too close to black and do not allow the letters to be read by everyone. But we don't always have to use black or white backgrounds. So I leave you with two examples of the use of colors. As you can see, this has a correct reading of the text, but in this it's impossible for you to read the gray letters. And I think that this red with the blue hurts the eyes. So now I will tell you about pictures. The pictures should be with high quality and not low quality like this example. Another issue that is similar to the one that I told you about of the logo is that you should not shrink or scratch the images. Also, if you want to edit your photos, you can click picture formats, and you can see there many options like corrections, recolor, or filters. Another thing that I want to tell you is that cropping is very important and very useful. You can crop your images in cases where the image is much larger than the slide, or if you just want to show a small part of the image. To crop an image, you should follow the steps: format picture and then select crop option. Now, to finish, I want to say that you should simplify your presentations with less sentences and more pictures. With the photographs or images, you can illustrate much better what you are saying in your words, and so your presentation will be much more interesting and will get much more attention from the audience. Don't forget to find some free pictures websites with no author rights. I hope the tips are helpful, and I say goodbye with this page of the NET4Age-Friendly PowerPoint presentation that is also available on Teams, so you can finalize your presentations. Thank you.